All right, last time we reacted to the Vikings Reddit page, and there were some okay memes on there. But this time, instead of doing the Packers or somebody else, I figured, why don't we just do the whole NFC North? And thankfully, I found an NFC North meme page, so we're going to take a look at those and see how that goes. Besides winning the Super Bowl, you may make one wish for your team for the 2026 season that is guaranteed to come true. However, the first person who is not a fan of your team who responds to you gets to choose the consequences of your wish. First wish, if I can't guarantee a Super Bowl, I guess to just have the number one seed. For once, let's just get the number one seed, because every time we're one of the best teams, we're always second seed. Or in the case of a couple of years ago when the Lions bounced us out and we were fifth seed. So I would like to just see us be the number one seed one time. And I'm sure the consequence of that, as a Packers fan or somebody, will say, okay, but you get bounced first round. So there's that. But I'd say that'd be my wish if I can't guarantee a Super Bowl. Updated NFC North team map. Okay, that's better. That's better. Circle the teams for further clarity. This should have been the meme, to be honest. Yes, it should have. This outline also worked when the Hammond Bears were still in Chicago. I never thought the day when Indiana Q has two NFL teams. I'm pretty sure they don't even have two roads yet. Actually, haven't thought about that. Indiana has twice as many teams as New York, huh? That is actually crazy when you think about it. You have to think that the Hammond Bears Q will petition to join the AFC South Q so they can have more games with their state rivals. I guess I completely forgot about that the Bears moved. Did they move already? Is it in Indiana? Or I guess I should have probably looked that up and kept up with that. It's truly hilarious that Indiana has two NFL teams and Illinois has none. I mean, they're still gonna call them the Chicago Bears anyway, so but that is wild. But nobody cares that the 49ers are in Santa Clara and not San Francisco. So there is that. Honestly, just fucking leave the division at this point. To be fair, I'm pretty sure the NFC North is one of the only few divisions that are still all together like that. I'm probably missing another one, but most of the teams are not even on the right side anyway, so it doesn't matter. And if they were to redo all the seeding or redo all the divisions again, NFC North is most likely to stay the same. NFC North and their AFC counterparts. Bears and Jets, franchises with brutal quarterback history that clings on to that one Super Bowl victory. That is true. That is facts. The Packers and Steelers, historically successful franchises that always choke in the playoffs. Also true, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Steelers have been mid the last 10, 15 years or whatever, but I mean, I wouldn't say they're all choke artists. I wouldn't even say that for the Packers. And that, as much as I hate the Packers, I can't really say they're choke artists. The Detroit Lions and Cincinnati Bengals, recent rise in relevance for a couple of years just to become irrelevant again. Yes, that is true. I'm sorry, Lions. The Super Bowl window is over. Bengals. I mean, you have Joe Burrow, but I mean, even with Joe Burrow, the last, 2-3 years he's been injured and they've done nothing. And also, Jake Browning is trash. I can't stand that guy. So he's the reason your franchise went back to poverty. Vikings and Bills, a contender every year that ends in heartbreak. Yes, that is the exact counterpart. 4 Super Bowls, 0 wins. They mirror each other in every single way. Pretty much a Bills fan and a Vikings fan share the exact same pain. So even though I'm not a big fan of the Bills recently, I think it was just because, I don't want to say Josh Allen's overrated. I'm not going to say that. He's overhyped by the media. He's good. I'm not saying he's bad, but that kind of bothers me with them. And then as well as I think the Stephon Diggs thing when we traded to him, or we traded them to the Bills and all that went down. I haven't really liked the Bills the last 5 years or so, but they are identical to the Vikings in that sense. I'd love to see a Vikings versus Bills Super Bowl. Loser gets dissolved once and forever. That would be good. Loser just franchises it. Cut. Game ends in a draw. If the Vikings lose, they get transferred to UFL forever and replaced by the Battlehawks. If Bills lose, we go to the Super Bowl again for the next 3 years to get blown out in all of them. That's not even fair. I'd rather be in the Bills path on that one than I would be to go to the UFL. Loser may actually walk away with the more prestigious achievement. That is true. 5 Super Bowl losses and no wins. Is that? Yeah, I guess that would be right. Thank you, OP, for choosing Bengals. I know the Browns were tempting. If you guys didn't have a complete turnaround, it would be 100% the Browns. Yes, because the Lions and Browns, both with their 0-16 seasons. Crazy that in 2010, we had the Bears, Packers, Steelers, Jets championship games. That is pretty nuts. I mean, I think the Jets could turn it around. I mean, I have no skin in the game for the Jets or Steelers, but I guess I just don't really remember them as this bad of franchises. Yes, the Jets in the last... Actually, no, you're right, because the Jets are the longest. The Jets do have the longest streak, right, of no playoffs. 18 years or something. So I guess that makes sense. Don't forget that the Packers and Steelers also had Aaron Rodgers, had or have Mike McCarthy, are named after local industry, had morally terrible star quarterbacks, Favre and Roethlisberger. I've had the most rings in their division and won't shut up about them. Lost to the Browns somehow. Beat the Lions during the holidays. Lost to the Bears after their QB got injured. NFC North 2026 and 2027 season predictions. Every team will finish 500 or better. Or isn't that what we all did last year? Isn't that what we did last year? Aren't we 9-7? Or are we 7-9? No, we were 9-7, right? Yeah, we were 9-7, and so was everybody. Except maybe no, the Lions weren't, right? So we beat them. You know what? I could just look it up myself. NFC North 2025 record. No, Packers are 9-7 because they had the tie. I forgot about that. And yeah, we all were above 500 or better. So I don't see the yeah. So all teams were 500 or better last year. So no, I don't see that happening again. One thing that is guaranteed is the Lions will be on cornerback 7, forced to play cornerback 1 by week 12. That is true, or Kirby Joseph will start injuring more of our players or other people's players. If he's still even on the team, I don't know. Barra goes 17-0 and Caleb throws for 2 million yards. Yeah, you wish, buddy. You guys think that he'll actually throw for 4,000 yards and the Bears will actually have a quarterback that can do that? See, I'm iffy. All the hype's on him. He did good last year, but well, I mean, I guess that was his second year, right? So the sophomore slump thing is out. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Lions 12-5, second seed. Bears 10-7, 6th seed. Packers 9-8, 7th seed. Vikings 8-9. I don't know what you guys know much about the history of the Vikings. Well, let me tell you something. Every other year, we always make the playoffs. Okay? So the fact that he has us at 8-9 not going, this happens every 1 year, no expectations. We're one of the best teams in the NFC. We lose. Next year, all the expectations, we shit the bed. And then once again, like this year, nobody's even talking about us. They forget we have Kyler Murray, who, regardless of what you think about him, on that Vikings team is going to be nasty. So my prediction, at least 11 wins for the Vikings. The rest of the NFC, don't care. Vikings slept on, Packers slept on, Bears heavily overrated, Lions heavily overrated. I think we're likely going to go back to the platonic form of the NFC, unfortunately, which is Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions. See, I agree with this take somewhat, but I'm going to say it's going to be Vikings, Bears, Packers, Lions. Because I don't think the Lions are bad, but I think in terms of like who's still there, Jared Goff is the worst. He's not bad, but there's no way Jared Goff is going to go off. He had his chances, that those windows were open. It's not going to happen. I think Kyler Murray is going to go off with us, especially being with Kevin O'Connell. Bears with Caleb, I think he'll come down to earth a little bit, but I think he'll be solid. And then the Packers, Jordan Love will just be a 500 quarterback. Let's just be honest. That's what's going to happen. Caleb Williams passes 4K yards on the second to last play of the game of the season, only to take a 3-yard sack and go for below 4K. As much as it seems like betting is rigged, I could totally see that happening. And that is exactly what somebody would bet on, get excited that they were going to win that bet, and then that happens, then it seems like the most rigged thing in the world. Vikings are one of the biggest surprises in the NFL, winning 11 games. Okay, so somebody has the same idea. Exactly. We will do one more here. NFC North relationship guide. Wait, why is Tampa Bay on there? Oh, I made a guide for the relationship of NFC North plus Bucks. Lions and Vikings are neutral. I would agree with that. The Lions dislike the Bears, and the Bears dislike the Lions. I'd also agree with that. Lions hate the Packers. Lions hate the Packers. That's exactly what I thought, and it is true. The Lions, Bears, and Vikings all hate the Packers. Every time I talk to other fans, like Bears fans, Lions fans, we always agree on that, even if we give each other shit. We all just hate the Packers and don't want the Packers to win. And the Buck thing, I could care less, so I'm not going to get into that. But I'd say this is pretty accurate. Wait. I hate all of you, and where's the arrow pointing towards hating myself? That's assumed. Yeah, that's true. Facts. Just nice to be noticed, As a Bears fan, now living in Detroit, I'd say most Bears and Lions fans are neutral towards each other, unless Ben Johnson comes up in conversation. There's no team on the chart I hate more than the Vikings. Can we guess of what fan he's going to be? Hey, he's not going to say it. Of course not. Why would he? There are too few red arrows on this chart. Wait, y'all don't hate each other at all? So the Packers are the only true fans. The test of you are poser. This is the Packers education right here. Look at that. So the Packers are the only true fans. The test of you are posers. That's how they spell posers. This is the guy that represents Packers fans right here. And actually, he wrote test of you instead of rest of you. So this is why we all hate you. This is the exact reason why. You're trying to insult us and you can't even spell. And it's not even like, okay, a grammar thing. You completely messed it up. All right, that wraps up reading the NFC North Reddit. I'd still like to do other teams, so leave comments of other divisions, teams, anybody else. I'll do it. Also, any other ideas of things you want me to watch or react, whether that's games or meme pages or anything, just let me know, and I'll keep pumping these out, man. I'll keep getting better, and I'll keep trying. Sorry that my presence isn't there yet. I'm going to keep working on it, but I do appreciate you guys watching, and by that, like I said, I mean all 5 of you. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.